Right, that process, you said it's your job to teach them that maturity. How do you accelerate that?
I just got to demand more. There is absolutely no letting up from them, and then also the point that I made to them was the leadership has got to improve more. There was guys that were inward focused that weren't. Tuesday we got after it pretty good, and really today was still another opportunity for us to improve our style of play and our identity, but some guys didn't step up leadership-wise like they needed to, and I addressed that. So putting the gas down on leadership needs to be more, and I'm going to turn the heat up a lot more on a lot of guys.
Thanks, Mo.
Yep. Down square one, too big a term, I guess, to use when you're going in this spring with so many new guys, or is that about right, you think?
It's I wouldn't say necessarily there, because there's some guys that are coming back that have been introduced to what we expect, at least from a style of play and identity of how we expect the game to be played, that there's a grasp for what we want. So from that standpoint, there's a little bit of a basis there that we can build off of. There's so many of some guys, with the three new incoming guys, there's the process for them of having to accelerate their learning to be a lot faster. And, each day is a learning experience. A week ago, we were short on some numbers on a Thursday, and Coleman Thomas got a lot of reps really just because numbers-wise there wasn't anyone to spell him off. And he was exhausted at the end of the day. I said, "You just got better." I said, "Because you took a ton of reps. You learn from the reps that you're taking." So it's every day a learning process that's got to be really doubled. The meetings have got to be, again, accelerated. Everything is just a sense of urgency at an all-time high. And, there's no, we'll get there in the fall. It's every practice, like Coach Jones talked about, it's doubled, tripled in terms of accelerating the learning. It's putting in the extra work. It's guys managing their time between the classes, between rest, between extra film sessions. It's being on spring break and coming here on a Friday myself, and Kyler Kerbison's watching film. So there's guys that are putting forth the effort. We're not anywhere near where we need to be, but as long as we put our hard hats on and come in and go to work, I think we're going to like the results. They're not necessarily right now, but as long as they keep that work ethic, we're going to be pleased with the result.
Cohesion is such a big thing with an offensive line. How cohesive can you expect to be, I guess, when you come out of spring heading into fall?
I really expect us to be, here's the thing. There's going to be some rotation of guys between guard and tackle, center and guard, and so forth. But to get to where there's a consistency of the five that are working together, and this was the thing I guess coming out of the spring that must happen for us, is that we have to work well together, all of us, all 13. And I mean that from practicing, I mean from carrying into the summer, that we're working well together. Now, what five it's going to be, they're going to determine that as their proof of what they put on film, practice, after practice 8, 9, 10, 11, so forth. But working together and being a solid group and how we do things is going to be important, and therefore I think we'll be cohesive that way. We really will, because again, the attitudes are right. We just need some guys to step across the line and emerge as a leader. Matt Crowder, Marcus Jackson, and Kyler Kerbison. But some guys need to go ahead and say, "Hey, you know what? It's my time to lead." And, there's going to be guys, I told them, you can't have fear of conflict. You've got to step across and you've got to address things that you don't like, maybe by the offense or by us up front. But we got to grow up in a hurry. And it's a never-ending process for me in addressing that. But, again, I like the approach and the attitude that the guys have. There's some maturing that's got to happen a lot faster than we're used to.
Tackle specifically, how are they coming along at this point?
Coleman's made some strides. He at Tuesday's practice, he actually set out and blocked Kurt Magid, which in one-on-one, which for him was a mental deal, because he didn't, running the ball was a lot of what they did in high school. Pass protection wasn't the deal. Well, he's starting to get a better feel for it. And again, it's just through reps. Jacob Gillum's been very consistent. Dontavius Blair, not as consistent as he needs to be. Working at it, though. And the thing is competition is beautiful, because now it's like, hey, you know what? Jacob's showing his, what he's been doing on film, and you need to be more consistent. So the proof is there. So Dontavius's work habits are starting to improve, and it's a matter of the culture of what, Coach Jones's philosophy and us as a team is just, it's a culture of what we expect day in and day out. There are no off days.
Coach, I know maybe some fans will look at it and say Gilliam's a walk-on and Blair's a 5-star recruit or whatever, but I mean, is that for real that he's that you have faith in Gilliam to go out there if it comes to it?
I do. I don't look at that stuff. I look at the guys that are here right now, and I mean that sincerely, that, no matter who they are, classification, where they're from, the guys that end up playing and performing and consistent and so forth, no one's, really just outright completely earned the spot. There's guys that have a good day, a bad day, so forth. He's been a little bit more consistent as of late. He's a guy that, again, understands the system from last spring to the fall to now, 7 practices in. So he's performed, a little bit better, and it's good. So I don't look at that. I don't pay attention to that. I really could care less about stars. Some of the toughest guys that we've coached are guys that have been a walk-on, a guy that maybe had 1 star that no one ever even thought about, and those are sometimes the guys that are the gritty ones, the guys that you look in the NFL that are free agents, and they go, who's this guy? Well, he was a free agent. Well, he fought his way into making it, that every day he had to fight his way, and, there's something to that. So I respect Jacob's play. I don't look at him any different than the rest.
Is it possible that there are players that are going to come in the summer and be starting or contributing early that aren't even going through spring?
What's here is here, unless we have anybody that's new. But we have really and truly, it's the 3 incoming guys that we have now are it, and it's a matter of the progress they make. Anything that we may decide within our staff, within our program of our team, of anything of positional moves that may happen, I don't know. But what we have right now is what we're working with.